testing on a perpetual basis is not worth the amount of lives that
they have this thing called actuarial science, which is, in my opinion, just statistics, and they just take decisions. I know somebody who's qualified in it. I don't think he's a very bright person, and we used to have a company called Life Insurance Corporation. Their limits were not very high, but their terms were very generous. Yeah. And in a government setup hospital, it would cover your needs.
Yeah, no,
it's sort of privatized, and the limits are high, but they never pay you that money. That's just a psychological thing, that you've got so much of cover, but actually, it's all a lie. The only thing that's high is the salary of the CEO of the insurance company.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me tell you what. Bracket.
And also, I think, and also they sell with the panic that this will happen, so you have to buy this insurance. But the insurance you have to buy just for your own satisfaction, because whenever you try to use it, whenever you try to redeem it, they said it's not possible. This happened. This happened. This happened. This happened.
Yeah.
So many exclusions.
We were discussing on IBM TV that how much money a person requires on a yearly basis to get themselves medicated, or maybe to diagnose themselves yearly. Because that money, if you have, you don't need an insurance. You put that money in equity, and whenever you want, you can take the money back.
Yes.
So
they earn, one of the insurance companies, this was the top most earning person, it was earning $300,000 per day.
Yeah, because
there is nobody on God's given earth who's worth that kind of market value.
No, it's called, they learned to monopolize an industry thanks to Obamacare.
This is even before Obamacare.
The best or the worst part is that during this pandemic, everyone is coming forward to do something or the other. Insurance companies, who are the first company who will be doing the insurance, they are nowhere.
Away in the shadows.
Yeah, I'm trying to search online about the insurance companies' news, whether they have some news or whether they want to do something. Nothing.
Zilch.
In fact, they are not even sharing a mask for their people who have get the insurance from them. I mean, they can at least give us a mask, which is like,
Yes. At least once, send 30 masks. How much is
how much it will cost you, basically? And if you do that, I will keep on continue using the same insurance for my lifetime. I will see that this company is good, and I will try to do it. They wanted to spend
lined up all those CEOs and shot them. But it will make no difference to the GDP of a country.
They are ready to pay on the commercials, on the big billiards or gold and things like that, but they don't want to do anything for the public.
No, they don't. And it's interesting to me because I've been getting letters from Trump for the last 3 weeks, especially right after the stimulus check went out. Received a letter, how great he was to make sure he gave us the stimulus check. He's running for president this year. And then I received another letter packed full of stuff, and I'll bring it in here to show, but another letter asking for me to donate $1,200 to his campaign. And I'm like, wait a minute. $1,200. Okay. And then I received, and this is what's funny because I posted it on my Facebook, but I received another package.
I saw that, yeah.
And it was a key, right? Like a little break apart key that I can put on my keychain. And again, he's asking, for $800 or $1,200. And somebody posted on my thing, why am I not getting all these letters from Trump? Because they're a big Trump supporter, right? And I would buy that. I would definitely buy that key, And another person says, I'm going to donate 50. And I'm like, it won't get you the keychain. The reason why he's sending them to me is because I'm in media. See, I already know this because back in the day when I owned a phone company, which is a municipality-driven company that made it income usually, I would get invited to all of the political campaign dinners, and I would get the personal letter invites, like the embossed, because they want your money. So, and I even got invited to the inaugural ball back. God, who was president? I think it was Obama.
Wow.
Yeah, so I even got invited to the inaugural ball, but everybody goes, "Well, I wish I would get those letters." And I'm like, they really irritate me because, like, I get enough junk mail as it is. Ankit knows I don't even like my email junk box. And
So
I just shred it, use it
we
to
have a guest on
for
our, we
barbecue.
have a guest on our show, so let's invite.
all right, and I'm gonna welcome
Welcome,
Welcome.
Tyra.
Hello. How are
Namaste.
you?
to our banter Thursday. Kim, I'm
No problem.
so how are you doing? Hey, that's
CaTyra.
did you see that, Ankit? Well, we're going to show you just because you did that. We usually run it at the end of the show, but we'll show you our little ambassador who teaches good social manners today. But thank you for doing that. Even though we're on the air, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
So,
I think I need some water.
CaTyra, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
CaTyra? Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
So, tell us a lot about you.
Yeah, so I am from Rochester, New York. I am an author. I'm also an editor.
Mhm.
I'm the CEO of Love for Words, which is the editing boutique. So I work with writers and authors to help them publish and polish their work. I started that business in 2017. I just recently published my first book of poetry last month, and I had my first book signing last month as well here in Rochester. It's an organization called Writers of Books. Thank you, and it focuses on literacy in the community. I also serve on a few boards. One of them is the Rochester Black Authors Association. So we have an annual book fair where we feature African American authors. Here in the city, we've had people come from New Orleans, Canada, so Tennessee. So we get together once a year and we have that fair. We're actually waiting for our 501c3 so that we can start doing other events and giving back to community. I am a cat mom. My cat's name is Honeycomb. I still live here in Rochester. I used to live in Savannah, Georgia for 3 years, so I'm missing that weather right now. But yeah, I'm back here. Yeah, so I'm back here in Rochester. I work full time at Job Corps, so I help with recruiting Job Corps youth to the trades program. But the rest of my time I spend on my business, getting new clients, marketing my business. I'm also a speaker. So I do virtual speaking events, but previously I would go to different organizations here. I love to travel. I studied in Puerto Rico for a semester as an undergrad. I am slated to go to South Africa next year, so I'm excited about that. I've been to Jamaica. I think traveling is my favorite hobby, but of course, writing, reading, meeting new people. I love to volunteer in the community. I love volunteering, meeting new people. I actually started a new podcast last month, Editor Knows Best. And Editor Knows Best, it's a podcast for writers and authors. So I feature local, national and international authors, and I interview them about their work, their publishing experience, what it's like to work with an editor. I also offer different tips on my podcast. So I guess that's a little bit about me, or a lot about me.
It's a beautiful about you. I love it. You're so energizing. But one of the things I've noticed about you is you speak so well. So, that part of your career is amazing. I mean, that was a good career move for you because you articulate well, but you speak very well. Something I've learned, although I'm not as good of a speaker as you, but I've learned that people who read a lot tend to be good speakers, like Pete.
Absolutely.
Reads a lot. So I think your vocabulary is bigger, but also just your understanding of how to use the words, right? So
Yes.
editing books in 2017. What brought you to that?
Yeah, so I started Love for Words in 2017. I have a friend who's a publisher, and and she was looking for an editor. So I did a sample edit for her, and she really liked it. So she started referring me to her clients. So then I just decided to start an editing business. And like I said, I've always enjoyed reading and writing. So I think it fits well with my personality and my strengths. I started writing poetry in middle school. So it just, it all fell in place, and I've been doing that ever since. I established my LLC in 2017. I was still in Savannah, Georgia at that time, but now I have the LLC. My plan is to have a small team of other editors to help me with projects. I will also like to start a foundation. I want to have what is that called? Co-work space. So I have a lot of grand dreams that require a lot of grinding. So that's what I've been doing.
Wow. That's not easy to do a startup, especially in the editing world. I had a friend who was a published author, and I would pre-screen his books. I am by no means somebody who's editing your grammar, but I was really good for editing theme, flow, making sure that because I loved his characters so much, I could almost pretend I was one of them and kind of make sure it all kind of happened. And I had more fun because I got to read his books before they went to the print, and that to me was more fun than anything because I knew everything. But let me bring up something. You talked about book signings, which is going to be very, very difficult to do. I have an idea, because book signings is the best way to promote books. Rakesh, you probably agree.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so
yes,
and it also it allows you to meet your fans, right? I mean, that was the thing that my friend was a published author of some really great suspenseful books. Because I kind of knew that most of his books were kind of like truth but twisted, right? So there were real stories there, but he kind of changed things a little bit. But the great thing to do is, meet these people. I mean, book signings is fun. I've done one, and didn't intend for it to be a book signing, but I was there. People go, "Oh, I want your book," and I happen to have a box of them, and I immediately dropped and did a book signing. And but it's fun in many, many ways. So hear me out on this. I want to start a new TV show. We got a bunch of them going where we interview the authors, but who's to say people, if they buy your book while you're online, you sit there and sign the book for them while they're texting in, right? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? So you got to up and you go, okay, hi Rakesh, how would you like for me to sign this? And thank you very much for buying my book. And then unfortunately, you're going to have to pack them and ship them, right?
Right.
So fee. But how fun would that be? Or maybe if there's a way we can figure out, maybe Ankit can help me do this, figure out a way to sign online, right? So they get your electronic book, and you say, because that's the reason why I don't go to electronic books. It's hard for me to read. What did you just say? I can't read it.
What I was saying is that you can show while signing it, and you can just
show it.
You can just do the book right away. And I tell you, book is different from signing for the real signature, because real signature matters a lot. I mean, doing online signing will still won't give you that much amount of engagement and.
All of those are signed books, right? I got more in the other room. So signed books are important to me. So
if your book's in PDF form, there are PDF editing things which you can just sign on the flyleaf, just a thought.
No, right. It's possible. So there are digital signatures, there are digital imprints. It's possible, but I still believe that if you are doing a show and if that person will use the pen to sign it and then showcase, that will have more engagement rather than doing it online.
Or, but you can do both. If they've got an electronic book, so many kids like the electronic book. But one of the disappointing parts of electronic books to me, it's very hard for me to read electronic pages. I just my eyes do it very well. But the other is I wanted the signature. Plus I can't. So I have this great memory for pages, right? If I read it, I can remember precisely where in the section of the book I read it. I can go straight back to that moment. My mind automatically tabs things. But if I read it like,
Bookmarker.
yeah, I can't electronically tab things. It just doesn't work for me. But but just thinking about this, I think this would be great because listening to you talk about your experience, your first book signing, I think it could be engaging because then people don't have to worry about going out and getting sick.
Right.
Or maybe because sometimes it would be hard for me. I would hear my favorite authors in town, but I just couldn't get over there. Right. I just literally. So, maybe even line it up. So maybe we do more than one book signing session with each author that comes on our show so people can definitely get their books signed. I think that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
I think so. So we're going to start it. So Nick, are you listening? I think Nick is the best author interviews. I love the way Nick interviews people. I've been on the set with him for over almost 5 years now. And interviewing with him, I've had the honor to interview with him, and it's such a pleasure because he gets really into interviewing people about their books. He's really good, and I learned to do the same thing. But he gets, he's just a different kind of interviewer. But and then it's good if you got 2 or 3 panels talking to you, right? 2 or 3 people talking to you about the book, because then you get all these different flavors of why people liked your book and questions. But so you've got this wonderful thing, and it's called Loving Words, right?
Love 4 words.
Love 4 words. Loving. Okay.
Yes.
Love 4 words. Okay.
Yes.
Give us a website.
Yes. So you can visit my website. It's www.pollandllc.com. That's POLLAND. LLC.com. So you can buy my books on the website. My bio is there. Like my media features are on there. You can see some of the clients I've worked with, and their books are on there as well. So all things CaTyra, all things Love for Words, you can find right on my website.
So have you ever thought about collaborating with a publishing agent?
For sure. I'm actually working on an anthology, and I'm in the process of collecting stories from people, stories, poems, essays about their experience during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I did connect with a publisher who's willing to move forward with the project. I'm still accepting submissions. The deadline is not until the end of this month. So I'll be looking those over and editing those soon and selecting which poems and stories will be in that anthology. So I'm looking forward to that. My books are self-published. I actually go through a hybrid publisher, Ebony Nicole Smith Consulting, LLC, but I've never worked like outside of like a regular publisher, a traditional publisher. So I'm looking forward to that experience. It's something new, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, one thing is that you built your skill sets, your strengths on your own. You bootstrapped.
Absolutely.
They'll be able to measure, that's very, very valuable to somebody that is a publishing agent, is somebody who already has that skill set and they didn't have to train you. The other thing is you mentioned South Africa. And we have a strong, powerful connection with South Africa here at IBM TV. Are you aware of that?
No, I didn't know that. No.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We have on Sunday afternoons, we have the Alexander May Musical Cafe. She's from South Africa. She performs from South Africa every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is great. She gives us this beautiful live music. I had met her in Nashville when she came over here to try to kickstart here in the U.S. because she's labeled in South Africa. And then we have Grant Edmond, who is also a live performer in South Africa. He is performing an hour every Sunday. I guess we've got this thing going on Sundays now, kids hours and musical hours, right? Live music, which is great because these artists are awesome. And then these 2 people meet. They've never met each other before, and they live down the street from each other.
Oh, wow.
How cool is that, right? But that's when you go, wow, I can help you. You can help me. Both of their shows are really rocking, but these are people that you can get to know through IBM TV. You can listen to them and say, hey, I'm coming to South Africa in, a year from now. I'm going to plan. And they're very wholesome people. We've got India. I want to make a trip to India now. It's interesting. I really never had a true. I mean, I love the country. I love looking at it, but it just scares me until I became friends with Kit and Rakesh. I just now I want to go see India in person. But it just the amount of people in that country used to just scare me. I would watch the movies about it, and I'll get claustrophobic. Going, how can people live that close together? Well, I live out in the country. I get claustrophobic when I drive by apartment buildings. There might be another term for it, but my mind started thinking, how many people live in our world? And then and one day I watched that worldometer about how many babies are born. And my heart just started racing. I thought I was going to pass out. And it's nothing against population. I think it's great. I just wonder where they fit. Like, I just get like this going, where does everybody go? But so share with us, do you have any written poems that you would like to maybe read one for us?
I can pull one up.
Okay.
Let's see.
That my son likes to write. He writes beautiful poems. He's an artist.
Okay.
He lives in New York right now. He just moved up there just as COVID hit. But he went to school at SVA, and so he's real. But he wrote, and he used to get me to read them, and he would record them.
Oh, okay.
This was long before I ever became somebody on TV. But he would say, "I'd like the way you read," so I would read his poems, and he would record them for live entertainment, I guess.
Okay, I found one that's near and dear to me. It's called Mocha Chocolate Girls, and it's really an empowerment poem for dark-skinned women, just because there's so much, there's a lot of discrimination against dark-skinned people, and I would say dark-skinned women in particular, not just in the African-American community, but globally. India, anywhere where there are the people of color, there tends to be discrimination against darker skin tones. So this is Mocha Chocolate Girls. Mocha Chocolate Girls, all around the world, they deny your beauty. All around the world, they ignore your presence. All around the world, they look in the mirror and see you, but hate you so much. They call you black. They say you're too dark. Your darkness is ridiculed. You get teased, harassed, or belittled. You feel ashamed or inferior, or you feel unhappy. You self-loathe, you cry, you hide. But despite their words, despite their ignorance, you persevere. You are not alone. You are not shameful. You are not inferior or unhappy. You are all around the world. You are a force to be reckoned with. You do exist. You are beauty. You are beautiful. You are dark and you are lovely.
Wow. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, that is, and you say something very, very powerful there. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but a little over a year ago, I was engaged, and it was all free. I didn't get paid for any of it. I actually paid some of my own way. But I spoke on Google's minority for Hispanic and Black entrepreneurs. And it was a tour. And that's how I got to meet a lot of people that are in my life today. And it was funny because, I am a woman entrepreneur. And I thought that's why they picked me. I thought it odd to speak to Hispanic and Black people, right? Because I'm blonde hair, blue eyes. I don't speak a lick of Spanish other than hola and gracias. But I spoke a uniform Black people, minority language. Okay. And that is the women, the gender part. Because it was very, very difficult in my time to do what I did, to become an engineer. I was an engineer for 30 years. So my career started back in 1982 in telecom. Women were not in telecom. I'm just telling. And I do notice, my journey with Google, because I always just thought it was gender, to be honest with you. I didn't think it mattered what color our skin was. I really didn't. I don't think I'm given any extra favoritism because I had to work very, very hard and persevere. So I love your poem, even just for me. Plus, I like the words in it, but perseverance, right, in general. But as I learned, and I don't know any other right way to say this, but a person of color, they do struggle a little bit more. But there are communities pulling together, right? Because to me, there's power in numbers as well. And these communities are pulling together. That's why I was on this tour. And but what I have to tell people is stop waiting for the opportunity to come to you, just like you did. You went out and you did it with excellence. You got to get out there. So I was shocked because in some places we would go to, the room will be full. We wish we had a bigger room. And then some places we go to, there was just a handful of people, but it didn't matter to me. People were people. And I would commend and felt like I had the room full of people with 5, if that's all that showed up. But what was disappointing to me was knowing the problem that exists and, you know, how some people did. So what I want to represent to people is get out there. Don't sit and wait for it to come to you. There are all kinds of wonderful programs out there for minority people. And minorities, you know, can break down to different levels. But when you hear the word minority and you're a woman, get your butt up and go. It doesn't mean of dark color. Okay. If you are a minority of dark color, get your butt up and go, because it doesn't mean if you're just a woman or a man. Okay. But the other minority, let me tell you, is just low income. So it doesn't matter what color you are, because there are a lot of people of low income, and you got to get up. Yes, Ankit?
And also, I mean, CaTyra, I'll tell you, I mean, whatever you are saying, I understand it's going on globally. But during the COVID, we have leveled everything like this. So be it from any caste, any color, everyone is facing the problem and everyone is equal. Okay. And also, I'll tell you, we need to create more leaders from those communities, because people have to come out and they have to be the role models. You won't believe, we follow Nelson Mandela, we follow Michelle Obama, we follow Barack Obama around the world. They are also from your community, but it's just that the community is not working together. And once we have people from different communities working as a global leader or working as a leader towards betterment, I think we can overcome the problem. I'll tell you, my favorite color is black. Everyone wears black. But that doesn't mean, I mean, you will find a person who is with the darker skin, you will say he's black or he's white, whatever it is. It's just a mindset. And also, I feel that apart from the color, people who are obese, they think that they're obese, they don't want to talk. People who have some kind of other problem, they said that, so there's a fear inside that someone will say something to them. So that fear is causing us. So maybe 50% or 70% of the problem is inside, which we need to figure it out and how we can overcome that, and then rest of the problem we can solve it. If suppose, and the important problem is that if suppose I'm black, if someone will say me black, I said okay, fine. What's harm in that? But we start arguing and things like that, and that problem will overcome to a bigger problem, and that comes within the community. So I think there are a lot of small solutions. If we can work it out, I think we can overcome the situation. If I go to a country where there are no Indians, they will say that, okay, this person is from India and they are a bloody poor people and things like that. So everyone has the right to say, because they have a perception. And I think Rakesh also agree that whenever we visit to any country, not now, but maybe 10, 15 years ago, people treat us like poor people. So it's just and whatever you have learned, whatever you are seeing, you will just, reflect into that.
You go to New Zealand, and if you're Indian, you're called curry muncher.
You're kidding! Oh my gosh!
Absolutely. You're called a curry muncher. I've lived in Rwanda, so for about 5 years, and for about 6 months in Nigeria, and I have met some of the most intelligent people that I've ever met in my life. I have met a Congolese fitter who's better than many Indian engineers. Wow. I have met a lawyer in Nigeria who would put anybody that I've met in my life, including the Queen, to shame. His English was superb, you know. So I don't know, the way we were brought up by my mother, was that it's your brains that count. So I never looked at anybody that this is a white or a black or a brown or anything, but I just tried to find similarities, and I found that we're similar. I've lived in every country.
We all
And the bottom line is that everyone has the red blood. It's not that we have different colors of blood.
Absolutely.
So we are all equal. I think we are all equal. It's just a mindset, and we have to overcome it. And I'll still tell you. I am not having that much of experience like Kim and Rakesh ji have, but what I see is that people from our community are doing something which is not right for the humanity, and those are the bad role models for us, and that is why we are suffering the problem as a community. So suppose if I do something bad, so it's basically.
I just got a thing on WhatsApp from somebody who said that the man who said that one person can't make a difference in the world never ate an uncooked bat. So you can imagine what people from Asia are going to be facing over the next decade. So you can imagine this is going to be and this was sent to me by an Indian from New Zealand.
Can I share a little bit of some additional experience here? Because being the only female in almost every one of the positions I ever had, as I grew older, I started my career in 1982. Generally speaking, you look at all my photos, I never noticed. I knew I worked different and harder because I had to prove myself, but I was the only female in almost every one of the photos. Somebody came to me and said, because their hackathons started coming out a couple of years ago, and it was all men. I would be there because I'm looking for my talent, but it was all men. Hackathons is the way to grow in the industry that I came from. So somebody came to me, a woman came out to me at NC State, a young woman, and said, would you help us host an all-female hackathon? We came up with this idea called the Pearl Hackathon. And, I thought, that's cool, but that's not going to help you fit in. You've got to fit in. You can't not. But the thing is the guys work different. And it's very, very hard to work on a guy hackathon team. Women work different. They really, really do. But we have to, if we want to work at the same level with them, maybe get the same paychecks, which didn't happen to me for a long time, and I was working the same damn level. We have to engage at their same level. So that's what I did. And but I told them, no, I will not host a female-only hackathon. I won't do it because it won't help you. So, but I find your voice very powerful. And I think if you want to make the changes, because you just saw how engaging this conversation became, right? It's a needed engagement. Nick.
I'm late to the party, baby. So CaTyra, how you doing? Where are you from? I'm late to the party. Sorry, I had another meeting and something.
So Nick is our senior executive producer, the one that I told you would make a great book interviewer.
Oh, wow, you got to be kidding me. My name is Nick. Some people call me Pain in the Nick, but whatever. So, CaTyra, where are you from? I got to ask all the questions. Where are you from?
CaTyra.
CaTyra, where are you from?
Yes, I'm from Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York, right down the street from David K. Johnson, right? Yeah, so you know him, huh? Hey, you say hello to David, baby, right? He's a Pulitzer Prize winner and New York Times bestseller, David K. Johnson. He's your neighbor. So
editor. She's an editor, professional editor, so she needs to get to know David.
Oh, you really? Seriously, is that what you do? You edit people's work? Okay.
That's my business. Love for words.
We're absolutely horrible at that. Are you like an English major that the gerunds and the pronouns need to go together and all that stuff? Is that what you do?
The grammar.
Oh Lord, I hate that. I butcher the English. I butcher the English language, okay? And so Kim and I are from the South. So we don't even speak English. We speak Southern, and we butcher the English language. So you give me a letter, I can just tear it to pieces or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So do you have
I
a
used to live in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, Savannah, Georgia. Okay,
I do. Editor Knows Best podcast.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
I lived there for 3 years.
Yeah, there we go. So you can speak some Southern. You can have fried chicken, and you can have fried Twinkies. We have fried Twinkies here in Raleigh. I don't know if you have fried Twinkies in Hong Kong, and they don't have fried Twinkies in India. We have fried Twinkies here in Raleigh, Durham. Oh, do you have a podcast? Okay.
Yes, Editor Knows Best is my podcast. It's on Anchor FM. Anchor.
You're kidding me. Editor Knows Best.
Anchor.fm.
Editor knows best.
So I interview local, national, and international authors.
Really?
And I also talk about different editing.
You interview authors? You interview authors? Like people write books?
Yes.
Okay, because in our business plan, see, IBM TV has this huge business plan to take over the world. We already took over India. Ankit's over there. He has 1.3 billion followers. Okay, that's in billion. You don't even have a billion people in America. So we have this ambitious to take over the world. We've already run our numbers. There's 4.3 billion people who actually subscribe to the internet. So we have our little creepy crawlers going through the internet, grabbing their emails, doing things that Facebook would wish they could do, but they're being watched too carefully. And then increasing our base, and one of our business plans to have a book channel. Seriously, where because we have authors that not only have authors, we have them in the can, Kim. In other words, we have
a lot of interviews already in the
we have what they call interviews on our book channel in the can with the authors. We stuck them in the can because we weren't ready to launch the book channel yet. But
these were interviews back in the day when we had to do editing.
Oh gosh,
doing live
editing and post production.
No edits.
Editing, post production. Okay, so the thing is, when the live stream platform took off, bingo baby, we could do a lot of things here with live stream, things that podcasters can't do. For example, I can show you live on camera, and you can't do this with podcasts. You can't show anything because all I can do is hear your voice. And I watch NPR. So I can show you how you can cure coronavirus right now. You guys won't even know. Here it is. Okay, so you can do that in a podcast. You just can't do that. I mean, you can't do it in a podcast. You can do it on Pod TV. So it's a really great thing. But yeah, the Book Fit Club. See, we even had this on our business plan, and we just didn't execute it till the technology caught up with our wild ideas. We also have intellectual property. Okay, such as I can bring in artificial intelligence. Alexa, what is coronavirus?
On December 31st, 2019, it was reported that a new coronavirus strain.
Alexa, be quiet. Alexa, shut up. Okay, see, the thing is, you can bring it in, but it's kind of boring because AI is boring just to begin with. IBM sells a lot of it, but that's because it works. But if you try to put it on camera, forget it. It's boring. It takes too long. Forget it. So anyway, it's good to have you here because, like I said, we're looking to expand and actually have a book channel. But as I tell the people I work with, there's one person who doesn't want to do anything. Wow. I'm the last person you ask to do anything. Okay. So if there's an idea, hey, you could be involved in it. No. Okay. I played tennis this morning. I'm a golfer. I get to play golf, tennis, go out to the country club. All right. Being on TV or working with clients. No, don't want to do anything. Or even since I've been an attorney for 37 years, going to court. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to do anything. See, my job is to do what I do best, which is nothing. Okay. And my mom told me a long time ago, you're good for nothing. I said, you're right. Okay, so the thing is, I'm good with it. So the thing is, I do that, and I'm really, really good at it. So that's my expertise. But if your expertise is actually the English language book channel, we'll have to get you with Kim and see if we can expand that. And with that, I've been drawn to the podcast. And who's this with drawn to the podcast? What's your name?
Hi. Sorry.